right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the live look-in. Good to have you here. This is weird, EB, because we're like in the middle of summer, so summer trips are happening, lots happening. So we're here this week.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new show next week, but it's already been recorded, so no live look-in. Then we're back the next week for a live look-in, but then off the next week again. But there's going to be new shows each of those weeks. So
yes.
Yeah.
So we're trying to not disappear for a couple of weeks.
Right.
We're trying to record early and spread out some shows, and then Mike, you and I recording on a couple of off days or double episodes. So you'll be taken care of. Don't worry.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah. Also, for you people who are watching here on the live look-in, make sure you watch the YouTube video next week. It's very interesting. I guess we can say it, EB. EB did a show at Glenwood Caverns.
Mm-hmm.
He got a really cool tour, a lot of which you can see on the YouTube video. So make sure you should watch all the YouTube videos. Even it's really helping us to kind of get more viewer hours and the algorithms and all that stuff. So even if you listen to the show, audio wise, try to watch a little of the video one each week too, if you can.
Yeah, do.
I know.
Yeah.
The hard part is the people who are here watching this now have already seen and heard the show. So I don't know if you go back and watch that again. I don't know.
Final version. I mean, that's the fun.
I would hope not. I would hope not. But
I want people to feel like they're, being able to get behind the scenes, but then watch the finished product as well. I mean,
right. I'm always worried that people come here for the live look-in and then they're like, I've heard everything. I don't need to go and actually count as a download, which is important. We need those downloads. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Right.
Hopefully, even if you watch here and this is where you get your Coaster Radio fix, at least set your phone to download the show and then try to play at least 20 seconds of it.
Yeah.
Because I think, for some ways that they count, like if you don't listen to 20 seconds, they don't count it as a download. It's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you get to work, go to the YouTube page and click that and let it play through. You can.
Yes. Do that.
Yeah.
I like
fake
that.
Watch things. I like
fake.
That.
I'm all good with fake. I'm good with it. Fake it till you make it, so they say.
True listeners have like those Chinese the social media farms where it's the wall of phones and iPads. That's how we know you're a true fan of Coaster Radio.
Yeah.
If you have one of those and you're like, YouTube, play.
Oh, yeah.
You play all of them all at once on the wall.
Yeah, and all of a sudden we're like, why did we get 10,000 watch hours yesterday? Because of you know what? If there's a Chinese listener out there who wants to do it, great. Do it.
Yeah, because 100 of you have 100 phones to watch it 100 times.
Yes, I know, right?
And that got us 10,000. Done.
I love it. That's what we need. All right, man. I'm ready to go. If you are, it's going to be a good show tonight. Catch up on some news. So let's do it. Let's do our fake pretending like we're getting ready. If you watch the YouTube video, that's how we do the fake pretending getting ready. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the original Theme Park Podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. I'm here with my friend EB, and we are ready to talk theme parks and thrill rides.
That's right, Mike. If you're watching on the YouTube, I was fake getting ready, and then you surprised me.
Yes.
That's what happened there. So, yeah. Hey, this is going to be a fun episode of Coaster Radio, Mike. We got some good coaster talk. We got a couple of trip reports, and I think very exciting. I'm going to tease me going to the parks. That's going to be next week's episode, but I'll tell you which park and what it's going to be and all that stuff in the second half of this week's episode.
Yeah. This is a great setup week. And then next week, we've actually got an on-location show with EB. So much good stuff coming up here at Coaster Radio. Yeah,
it's a bit of a time machine episode because I'm in the chronology of the show. I'm in the middle of my trip. So I'm going to be telling you some stuff in the second half of the show, some non-theme park things I've been doing on my road trip. Then next week, the finale of my road trip is a theme park visit. But we'll get into all of that, Mike. Let's start with some news. Let's do our first drop. This is one you've been waiting for.
I know. I have been waiting patiently for the new show on Main Street in their theater there right at the beginning of Main Street at Disneyland, the Walt Disney animatronic show that they just opened up just a couple weeks ago. And this is what's a bummer when we do shows where we're on vacation, like we sometimes miss some news. And so a news is like a week over. So at this point, probably everybody who watches Coaster Radio and listens to Coaster Radio has seen video footage of the Walt Disney audio animatronic that is now in the Main Street Theater there at Disneyland for their 70th anniversary celebration.
And
Probably have seen it.
what is the name of the show? It's not called the Walt Disney Animatronic.
No, and now
That's not the name of the show.
yeah, I keep wanting to call it like One Man's Dream, so or it's something like a life. Hang on, I'm going to look this up while you vamp for a second.
Yeah, well, this is I've been seeing this all over the place, and I've only been seeing the one clip of Walt. This is the Walt Disney animatronic, an animatronic of the living person, which was all rather controversial. Like, should we have the animatronic Walt and that sort of thing? It's Walt in his office talking about building Disneyland. And well, did you find it, Mike? What's the name of the show here as he's in his office?
Yes, it's called Walt Disney: A Magical Life.
A Magical Life. And he's standing at the desk, and this is an older Walt. Does he say anything except for the one story about how he just pops in and he's like, what does he say? He's like the Jello that holds things together, or he's like the fly in the ointment. What does he say?
It sounds like he could have said some of those things, but no, he said that he basically tells a story where he says, like, a little boy came up to me once and said, "What is it that you do? Do you draw Mickey Mouse?" And he said, "No, I don't do that anymore." He says, "Do you come up with the scripts and the jokes?" "No, we've got other people to do that. I don't do that." And so he said, "Mr. Disney, what do you do?" And
then he says, "I am like the buzzing of flies to you."
Yeah,
that's what he said. Like,
he's Vigo.
He's Vigo.
Yeah.
No, he's a bumblebee.
He's a bumblebee, and he goes around and pollinates all the areas. That's what he said.
Yeah,
and then he talks about like just the things that they create, and he says at the end, the big finale is, I hope you all remember it was all started by a mouse. But what I like about this, let me take you through for people who don't know. You go into the lobby. And it's almost like a museum of Walt Disney. There's all these things. There's artwork. There's the bench that Walt Disney sat at when he took his little girls to the Griffith Park carousel. And that's where he got the idea for Disneyland. Now, the bench is there.
Is this all new? Was that part there and just the animatronic is new?
No, this is all new.
The whole thing is new. Okay, so we go in and we see the bench inspired Disneyland. Continue, please.
Yep. So then they take you into the theater, and the presentation starts with a really nice movie. Now, this is the same theater where Abe Lincoln is also there. So I'm curious how they do this, because supposedly the show alternates. And somebody's going to have to tell me if that's true or not, but I heard that it alternates between the great moments with Mr. Lincoln and this Walt Disney Magical Life. But
Abe Lincoln in a theater. Oh, boy.
Yeah. But so anyway, the movie or the presentation starts with like a 7-minute film about Walt Disney's life, which is pretty good. It's actually really good. Walt Disney's life is complicated and long, and if you ever get a chance, there's an excellent autobiography out there. It's not the official Disney autobiography, but it's written by another man, and I'll find that for you here in a second. But he had a complicated life, and it was a life that had a lot of successes, but also a lot of failures too. This movie did a good job of addressing all of that without getting too into the weeds. Just talking about all the great things he did in animation, and then moving on, building the studio, going into live action, then Disneyland. So it's pretty cool. Then the curtain opens, and there's Walt standing in his Burbank office.
Now, let's be clear. He's kind of leaning at the beginning.
He is leaning on the desk.
This is the magic of the animatronic, right? Is Disney's always trying to make their animatronics do things that make you say, "Whoa, how did they do that?"
Yes,
and Walt is not sitting behind the desk, which would be fairly easy to do, I would think, with the animatronic. Instead, he's leaning. He's standing in front of the desk, leaning. He's got his butt on the desk. He's got a hand on the desk, and then he stands upright.
Yes.
Right. And this is the magic of this animatronic, is that he stands and he kind of takes a step, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the wow moment, I think. And the best thing they did with the animatronic is that he's literally like leaning back as he finishes story 1. And as he moves into story 2, you can see him lift himself up. And that step forward that he takes to balance himself is really cool. Let's talk a little bit about what some people have as the problems with this, though. First off, when you see his face, they didn't get the face exact. In fact, I've heard people compare it to the My Pillow guy. Like, it looks a little more like the My Pillow guy.
Oh no!
than Walt Disney. they also did something where they tried to get a sparkle in his eyes, but depending on where you sit in the theater, it kind of gives a kind of unsettling look.
Ugh.
It's hard to do a face accurately, though, because I heard people saying, why couldn't you just hire the Madame Tussauds people? They did a perfect Walt Disney wax figure. But they're not having to do all of the mechanics inside the face. And I think just the mechanics of the face make the face kind of bigger than what it would be in real life. And so that's why it kind of looks good. Like Walt looks a little chubby, I think, like, or especially in the cheeks and stuff because of the way the mechanics go. I think that's the part that is throwing most people. I think if you sit in the back of the theater and you're like me and you need glasses to see far away, you're probably going to be impressed by this because, like, if it's out of focus, it looks a little better.
And how many people, again, this is a whole GP versus a
Right.
crazy Disney adult type thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many people even know what Walt Disney looks like? Like, people probably remember when they were kids, maybe watching Wonderful World of Disney or something like that, and they just have a memory of what Walt looks like. They probably saw a picture or something, or while they were at Disney somewhere, they saw something. But this doesn't look unlike Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if I made an animatronic, you don't go into the Hall of Presidents be like, that doesn't look like Thomas Jefferson.
Right. Exactly.
His ears were a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Like I have a vague idea of what Walt Disney looks like. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, this looks fine. Yeah. And then, as I was scrolling or watching or seeing other things and people posting and seeing side by sides, then I was like, oh yeah, it doesn't look exactly right. He does look like he's got, like you were saying, maybe he's got some sort of like gills happening in his neck that makes him a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I saw the side by side comparison of the real Walt to the animatronic Walt that I even noticed.
Yeah. And this is a difficult
It's not
task.
as bad as that Hillary Clinton Donald Trump though.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Wasn't the thing though that the rumor, and I doubt this is true, but that Disney Imagineers were so convinced that Hillary Clinton was going to win.
Clinton animatronic.
Yeah, so that they made her face, and then they're like, "Oh, Trump won," and they just kind of like changed it a little bit because that, and they've gone back. I think they've changed the head of Donald Trump for his most recent administration. But anyway, so going back to Walt, I think it's difficult, and I commend the Imagineers for taking this on because you are doing a Walt Disney animatronic in Disneyland where a big majority of the audience is going to know intimately what that guy's face looks like. So I
especially, to backtrack on what I said that nobody's going to care or know, if you're going into this attraction, you care about Walt Disney. Right. So this is not like they put a Walt Disney animatronic in the Matterhorn. This is the Walt Disney show. And so you're going in there. Okay.
The other thing too, that threw me off a little bit, and it's funny. I think it depends. Like basically we're all seeing recordings of this, right? Most of us have not seen the show in person yet. I hear that when you hear it in person, depending on where you sit in the theater, you get a little bit of a different audio experience.
Oh, okay.
People were saying like it didn't sound like the audio was coming through the speakers, like they were trying to make it come from Walt himself. So depending on where you sat, the audio sounded a little not so much like Walt. In fact, the first recording I heard, I thought it was a voice actor doing Walt's voice. And I was like, what? Yeah. And I was like, why would they not just use the original recordings? Then I saw another video, and it was like, you could tell it was the original recordings. But I think what they've done is because the recordings were taken from different time periods and different programs, they used AI to clean it to try to make it all sound like it was happening at once. And maybe it's a little too clean. And so it, sometimes when you do too much with AI, we've even experimented that with that here with our old thing. It makes your voice sound a little different. If you go back and listen to the King Ka episodes, you and I sound a little different with the AI cleanup than we do normally. So
well, and with something the audio being so old, also, right? Like they wanted to clean it up somewhat anyway, and so you're already not dealing with, like you're saying, not the best quality audio, and you don't want to just play that bad old audio in a theater because it wouldn't sound right to your ears. It would sound very much like a recording.
Yeah.
So if it works mostly, then they did a pretty good job.
Right. Here's my last thing about it. Walt said a lot of inspirational things in his life, and I wonder if maybe they didn't choose the right quotes to use in this. Like I know they told the story about, Mr. Disney, what do you do? And that's a good quote about him. Um, but he said some things that maybe are a little more inspirational, and I'm surprised they didn't go with that. And you tell me if I'm wrong, EB. I was thinking that the show would be more of Walt being an inspiration to the audience, and it didn't really do that. It was more just about like, well, here's what I've done, here's what the company has done, and it wasn't so much about like, here's how you can learn from me. And like when I read that Walt Disney autobiography, there were a lot of lessons in there that could apply to our own lives. Like if
Okay.
you're doing a creative endeavor and you fail, you learn from the failure. I think Walt even said that once. Like sometimes the best thing for you is a good failure. And I always think about that, just because there have been failures in my own life, and I'm like, yeah, well, you learn from that and you move on. So I didn't feel like the show, like people were saying they left crying because I guess it was cool to see, oh, hey, there's Walt in 3 dimensions. We've never seen that before. But I didn't feel like what he said was necessarily inspirational, where there were definitely things he said that could have been used. I don't know how you feel, but or even if maybe it's not about the audience, maybe it should be about him. I don't know.
What's the name of the show again?
Walt Disney: A Magical Life.
A Magical Life. So is it really about? Yeah, it's more biographical than with that title, right?
And not about us.
Yeah, it's not about you. It's not about him trying to inspire you. It's about you being
right
in awe of him, and he's not really there to.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying though.
You know what I'm saying?
If that's what, especially knowing you and the Walt hugger that you are, that's what you were looking for from this. You were looking for Daddy Walt to give you a hug.
I know, that's
what
I
wanted.
You
didn't get that.
Yeah.
You didn't get that.
I know. I wanted him to say like, here's my advice for you going forward. But it's good. I like it. I'd be curious if the show is done, or are they going to make improvements to it? That's the next thing that we should all watch out for. Maybe they're hearing the feedback. Maybe they figure out how to make the face a little more lifelike, but we'll see. Well, but I appreciate the effort, man. It's a good effort, and people were leaving crying, so it's good.
There you go. They like that fat-faced Walt and his one shuffling step.
There you go. I love that step, man. It's so good.
Yep. And this boy walked up to me, and I was like, "Shut up, kid. Go buy a ticket.
Make me some more money.
Get out of here,
Uncle Walt. Uncle Walt.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, we got some good theme park roller coaster stuff here, Mike. Let's talk roller coasters with quick hits.
Quick hits.
Oh yes, the roller coaster that I think is going to be the best new attraction of the year has finally opened. It's at Canada's Wonderland, Alpen Fury. I like the looks of this, man. I like the looks of this. So good.
This thing is massive. This is the huge premier ride Skyrocket. Multiple launches, goes into the mountain of Wonder Mountain, launches out the top of the mountain with a fireball, then goes way out and then comes back. It's this great looking roller coaster. It really covers up the mountain. I think this is something that some people have been complaining about, is that it is just a lot of track that's all over and a lot of supports that are really, covering up the mountain now, especially on that one side where Alpen Fury, does most of its work. But people are loving it. This is a great roller coaster, a huge roller coaster, 7 inversions, a minute 20 ride time, speed over 70 miles an hour, over 3,000 feet of track. And I was at Canada's Wonderland last summer, so I don't think I'm making it back to ride this thing anytime soon.
I love the launch into the tunnel.
Yeah.
I think that is so great. I know this gets compared to Volcano, the blast coaster that used to be at King's Dominion. That went into the mountain, but not into a tunnel. It just went kind of into this big open area of the mountain. And this I like because you're in this enclosed tunnel with lights. It's way more impressive to me. And then, of course, the top hat out of the mountain. But man, this is great. Those 7 inversions just keep coming at you. So I know we've seen a lot of interesting roller coasters this year so far, and I know that people are talking about, Stardust Racers. Is Stardust or Starfall?
Starfall Racers.
Starfall. I'm always going to say Stardust because I just like it better. So, yeah, Starfall Racers, Alpen Fury, Siren's Curse. I mean, I suppose those are the 3 that we're really going to talk about that could be the best new attraction of the year. But
it's Stardust.
Dude, yeah, I think so, probably. But I like this so much, man. I like this for so many reasons, and
Yeah.
a lot of people liking. We've got a live trip report from somebody who was up
Oh,
there.
okay.
I believe they were up there on the media day, but not part of the media. So let's listen to what they have to say.
Coaster Radio, it is Brian from Buffalo reporting live from Canada's Wonderland. We are here to tell you about Alpine Fury. I know that Mike thinks that this is going to be better than the newest ride, Siren's Curse at Cedar Point. I'm going to ride that this week, but for now, I'm going to tell you Alpine Fury is awesome. It's intense, it's fast, it comes right out of the gate right at you. I don't think it's going to crack my top 5 overall, but it's definitely a good coaster. The only down part was it was media day, which means all those media people got to go on unlimited times while we waited because it was a delayed start. That wasn't fun, you media people. But we did run into Tony Clark, and I told him that we'd be at Cedar Point, and I said, give me a thumbs up for Mike and EB, and he did, and I have a picture to go with it. Eric, what do you want to say?
And like they get to go before everybody else does once they're in the line. So don't go on media day.
Yeah, Eric says don't go on media day. It was quite an annoying thing to watch the media people prance around going on 7 and 8 times while we were still in the fast lane. But hey, anyway, great ride, great day. The new deal for the Prestige Pass, you can't beat it for this year and next. Everyone should go and buy it. Have a great day. Thank you for what you do. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there we go. So EB. Yeah, I heard some good news about the Canada's Wonderland was offering a premier pass for pretty inexpensive. I think it was like $190, but or whatever it is in Canada. But man, oh man, like that's not bad for all the rest of this year and all of next year for all the Six Flags parks. That's pretty great.
That is pretty great. Cool. Good trip report.
So I'm a little worried that he said it didn't crack his top 5, but I don't also know how many roller coasters he's been on. So it's very possible that he's been on like 400 roller coasters.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, right. So
that's much more
maybe it's all right. Maybe it's all right. Maybe it's all right.
I've been on 12 roller coasters, not even in the best 50%.
Yes. Oh, so we've got 2 news stories coming up here about parks that are closing. So first, let's talk about the one everybody knows about, Six Flags America. Coming to the end. I think they're almost done with daily operation. They're going to move to weekends only, I think, going through Halloween. And then that's it. The park is done. But I've got a soundbite from the local news here in D.C. And I guess this is a member of the board of Prince George's County, which is the county where Six Flags America is in. And they're talking about maybe... They have, and you tell me if you think this is like just politics or political speak, or if this is maybe real, but they're thinking they want to talk to whoever buys the land about them keeping some type of amusement industry location going.
Okay.
Take a listen to what she says. This is the actual report here from, I think it's WUSA 9. Here in D.C.
There have been some setbacks when it comes to development here in Prince George's County this year.
Largo is a little bit quiet right now, so we really need to build the density right in that downtown center.
One being Six Flags closing at the end of this season.
I actually just went recently. I hope they turn it into another attraction park. We don't need any more like stores or big malls. We just need something that's for the community.
We are looking at park amusement entertainment and the Six Flags. Six Flags is going up for official sale in August, and we're going to see who gets the top bid and start working with them.
So that's what a member of the city council is saying.
What did she say? Park amusement entertainment?
Yeah. And she's saying whoever wins the bid of buying that land, they want to work with them for park amusement, some type of location. So
park amusement entertainment. I'm gonna.
What does that mean, EB?
I think it means it's not gonna happen. It's gonna be McMansions.
Yeah. Do you think like that's just wishful thinking on the part of the city council?
I don't know. Is she an enthusiast? Does she have 600 coaster credits? Right. I don't know. I just don't see it happening for this park. I really don't. I think the park is just going to go away. I can't imagine somebody going in there and saying, we think we can operate this park better than Six Flags can and make a profit at it. No, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Like you said, maybe the water park, but even that, I mean, how much are you going to pay to go to a water park? $20, $30? You
yeah,
can't maintain a water park like that in
yeah.
PG County. No.
Although it's
That big?
packed.
That
It's
size?
packed every day in the summer.
I
It,
guess.
that's like I said a couple weeks ago. I wouldn't be shocked if somebody said, "Hey, we should save that."
Okay.
But I don't know. There's no amusement. Who would come in and buy it? Like not United Parks. They're not going to do that. They've got Busch Gardens too close.
No, I mean, are you talking about buying the dry park? I don't think anybody has any interest in that.
I don't think so. Right?
No,
There's no company that could use it. I think.
No, and I think we've already decided that it's just stuck in the middle of an area that has much, much better parks.
Yeah.
An hour and a half
Yeah.
away. And so
Right.
you're never going to choose. I mean, you know this from experience, Mike. You've lived in the DC Metro for decades. And how often have you gone to that park? You would never, ever choose to go to that park if you have the means to get to King's Dominion or Hershey.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So I just think that, they're going to go to whoever buys it and say, hey, why don't you keep it as an amusement park? And the person who bought it is going to be like, no.
Nope.
I'm going to make way more money putting up the McMansions. So
yeah, exactly.
Indeed. Another park, I just found out about this last night. I did not know it was closing, and it's one of those that I've always wanted to go visit, mostly for one attraction. ZDT's amusement park is closing. And they, of course, are the park that has Switchback, which is a Gravity Group shuttle coaster, a wooden shuttle coaster that opened back in October of 2015.
Yeah, I was remembering Switchback being a lot newer than that. I guess it is about 10 years now, though. It's been. This is a relatively young park. The park's only been around for, I guess, 18 years, or this is the 19th season. And it's been family owned. A couple owns it. They had kids. The kids' names are, I don't remember their names, but they are ZDT. Zach.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Zach, Denise, and Tamara.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. I like it. All right.
But that's who they named the park after, and they built up and ran the park with their kids, the young kids, for those 18 years. And now they're saying, well, we're kind of getting tired of this, and the park is really big, it's a lot of work, and we're ready to retire. So they're just going to close it, and that's just the end. That's it.
Yeah, you were close, EB. Zach, Danielle, and Tiffany. ZDT.
Right.
Yep, there you go. Yes,
okay, great. So this and they're just retiring, and they're going to close the park. And I was reading a couple of things about, who might come in. This is another one where it's like, will somebody come in and just buy it and continue to operate it? And it's like, maybe, probably not.
Yeah.
So that's the end of ZDTs. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And so I think they are actively selling the rides. So I wonder, of course, does Switchback go anywhere? I mean, this seems like a perfect one for Knoebels, like a wooden roller coaster.
Yeah, it's not going to.
I don't think so. But
this is what she's saying. So one of the owners, it's Danny and Sarah, and she says she is not convinced that the operation will continue as an amusement park. And then she says, I quote, "I think it's a 95% chance. No, it won't be sold as is. There have been interested people, but it hasn't worked out. And the one that was our biggest possibility is not moving forward. It's a no. I don't think anybody's going to reach out at this point to buy the park. So at this point, it's more of selling the rights and the equipment and the buildings, and we'll sell off or rent out the others. That's it.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Switchback is the only big giant ride. They have like a swing ride, a drop tower, and then some other little things.
Yeah, they've got a dozen or so different attractions. They've got go-karts and water rides, but it's that Switchback that really put them on the map and that made people know about this park. I know we never heard of this park until they built the Switchback, and it's a special, unique attraction that did attract enthusiasts from around the world to go ride something unique and special, a shuttle coaster, a wood shuttle coaster. But the park is no more, and that roller coaster is probably also going to be no more.
That's too bad. Yeah, August 17th is the last day to ride it. So
not much time. Okay.
Yeah, so if you're in Texas, get down there and do that. One last one here. EB, have you ridden the underground loop in Las Vegas with the Teslas? Have you been to Las Vegas since they opened that?
No. So this is the underground tunnel where you can buy. they're taxis, right? They're like Ubers, but they're Teslas. They're driverless, right?
Well, they were originally going to be driverless. Every time I've been there, though, there's a driver. So yeah.
So I go. It's like a subway. How does it work? Because you've done this.
Yes. So, for instance, I stayed at Resorts World when I was going to a convention, and at Resorts World, you go through the casino, you go down a pair of steps, and there's the boring tunnel. I like that. It's called boring. Yeah, it's boring. But then you pay whatever it is, like $4 for the day, and all these Teslas come out of these tunnels with all of these LED lights inside. In this case, you just get in one. There is a driver, and it takes you down to the next stop. So it's like a subway, but you're actually in a Tesla car going through. Then it stops at the next stop, which happened to be at the convention center. You pop out, go up the steps, and then you're there at the convention center. Right now, I think the loop takes you to each hall of the convention center, but they also just moved it to the Wynn Resort. And supposedly they're going to keep burrowing tunnels all the way down the strip, so it stops at every hotel.
But so it's just a car. It's not on rails.
Nope.
And it's not automated. There's still a person.
Yeah.
So it's just another road.
It's basically a taxi, but it's a road. Yeah, with no traffic though, because
a private road with only Teslas that you pay $4 to ride.
Yeah, it's a one-way tunnel. So you're just going down to the, and then popping out at each station.
Okay.
It's way faster. Last time I was in Vegas.
This is the other thing is because they're Teslas and they have like the computers and everything like that for the driving, the assisted driving, I'm assuming now. They can get up to like 100 miles an hour.
Well, they don't go that fast. But but I was impressed that it was going, I think it was probably going like 20 or 25.
Oh, that's not fast.
Yeah, so it wasn't like rocketing, like rocket rods.
What did I see that it said it was good? They went 100 miles an hour in the loop.
Yeah, well, at least not any time I've been on it. But I've got to say, it's pretty nice, especially if you're like running low on time and you need to get from your hotel to the convention center. That thing's going to get you there once you get on. In like 60 seconds or so. Pretty nice.
It sounds like a subway, right? I mean, in a city that has very good public transportation in the form of a subway, you go down the stairs, you wait 2 minutes, the train shows up, you hop on, you hop off. Except this is new, and so why not have individual cars? And so, are there like a bunch of cars? Like when you go down, is there like a big lane of cars, and you can get in and you just get in the first one?
Yeah. They like there's like 10 different parking spaces, and you go in and you show your ticket, and they said, okay, go to number 1, and you go up there, and then the person pulls in, you hop in, and they take you down the tunnel. Yeah, it's pretty seamless.
That seems why do they have anyway, whatever. The story is they're going to build one in Orlando. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this
which doesn't make any sense because I thought Orlando was all swamps and there's no basements in Florida.
There's the question because like you could do this in Las Vegas. There's nothing but dry desert out there. But if you try to do this in Orlando, and they're talking about doing it in the International Drive area, and maybe even connecting the original 2 Universal Orlando resorts,
great,
Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida, all the way to Epic Universe.
Great.
Like they would appreciate that, right? Because that would be they don't have a monorail. They don't have an easy way to get people back and forth. But if you could do that with the boring tunnel, yeah, why not?
But you can't because it's Florida, so you can't make tunnels.
Yeah, because isn't the water table like you can't do it? But maybe they have a way. Maybe there is a way if you do it with concrete tunnels. But how do you keep that water from seeping in? That's my question.
I don't know that. Like, isn't that a thing? Like, houses in Florida don't have basements. It's all swampy swamp. That's why Walt was able to get his real estate so cheap.
Right. Yeah, and
Tesla submarines.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, maybe that.
You just go through the swamp.
Right. I would be interested if this happens, especially for the Epic Universe part of it. But whenever I think of these tunnels, I think of the taxi driver that I rode in last time I was in Las Vegas. And the reason I remember him is because after every sentence he would say, buddy. So he'd be like, how you doing, buddy? Like, hey, where you going, buddy? Everything was buddy. And so he was talking about the Tesla tunnels. He's like, I don't like that guy, buddy. I don't like his Teslas, buddy. Like, everything was buddy, sir.
Great.
But he was not a fan of the Teslas. He did not like the boring tunnel. He thought it took money out of his pocket.
Well, maybe instead of the tunnel, like in Vegas, maybe we need those drone cars right?
Ooh,
Where're the
yeah.
flying cars? Why are we
Where's
not
all of
working
it?
hard on that, Elon?
We were promised all of that stuff. We get none of it, man.
I feel like that should be
none of it.
something that we can do now with how much we're doing drones now.
Yeah.
You should be
Yeah.
able to have a drone car.
I wish we did.
If it was like in its own dedicated lane, kind of like the Tesla tunnel that you can drive 100
right.
miles in.
Yeah,
you just
sure.
go a dedicated lane, like in Back to the Future with the floating traffic cones.
Yeah.
And you can fly your drone taxi cab, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, that was supposed to be 10 years ago, buddy.
Let's go flying, buddy.
Yeah. Like Back to the Future said 2015 we'd have flying cars. Here we are 10 years later. There's not even a hint of it.
Don't even have it, buddy.
They're not even doing the Amazon deliveries with drones yet. When was that? Wasn't that supposed to happen?
I was supposed to have a Target painted on my roof, and they were going to drop packages. That was a thing.
Haven't done that either.
I think it's because that guy in Texas shot one.
Oh, did he? He's like, hey, get
It's
that
been
away from
buzzing
me.
over my house too much. Blam, blam.
Get away from me, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. I'm going to shoot that thing down. A drone coming at me. Oh,
Yeah.
but wait, it's the Amazon.
I think it was
Delivering
actually.
my
I think
supplements.
it was delivering to his neighbor's house, but the neighbor kept getting stuff like delivered every day. Like I order from Amazon constantly, and so that would be me. Like every single day, there would be like a buzzing thing coming over and like dropping off your watch batteries.
Oh no!
I'm too lazy to
Toilet
go.
paper's coming down. I'm
It's
gonna
back.
shoot
I see it. It can be spying on me. It's that Elon. They say his
looking in my
company's
house.
boring, but it's really exciting.
it. Oh, trying to look in the window at my wife. I'm gonna shoot it down.
Blam blam. That's right, buddy.
Hey, we've got a live trip report here.
Okay.
Let's go to that, and then we'll do a break. But Matt, the archivist, is out at Valley Fair. Let's take
cool.
a listen.
Hey, Coastal Radio listeners, this is Matt, the archivist, and
Kelly.
And we are out at Valley Fair in front of our Wild Thing today. It's a Morgan Hypercoaster. It's been here for about 30 years now. And the park will be celebrating its 50th anniversary next summer. We were hoping for a new coaster and not a closure, but as usual, nothing new is coming out of here. We haven't heard anything yet. Anyway, here comes Wild Thing.
Oh, that was loud.
Keep up the great work, guys. Love the show. Take care.
All right, thank you, Matt, the archivist, who has listened to the entire archive of Coaster Radio like 3 or 4 times, right? Hasn't he done that? Yeah.
He's going to correct you and tell you 5.
Oh,
That's a good trip report. Hoping for a new coaster, not a closure. Matt is very pessimistic about Valley Fair and its future. So, yeah, thank you, Matt and Kelly.
Yep. We are going to take a break here in a second, but like we said, next week we've got a great show with EB on location. The week after that, though, we are back in studio, and it's time for an interactive question.
Oh, good.
We haven't done one of these in a while here. And, we were talking about ZDT's closing. We're talking about Six Flags America closing. I mean, throughout the history, even the modern history of amusement parks, there have been a lot of great attractions that are no longer with us.
Yes.
So we want to hear from you. What is your most missed defunct attraction? And it can be one that you have ridden many times before and you miss it. Or maybe even better, is it one that went away before you had a chance to ride it? That's what we want to hear about.
Oh, and is this most missed by me or most missed by the general population? I guess it's my own personal, right? It's the one I miss the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So
good.
So I think that's good. And I think to encourage people to do this, can we give a prize for the most interesting answer, the one that like sparks the best discussion, or maybe one that we hadn't thought about? Because there are ones out there everybody's going to talk about, but is there one that somebody's going to say and you're like, that's really interesting, I've never thought about that one?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let me look in the Coaster Radio prize closet and see what we have. I'm sure I have some goodies from some defunct rides in my goodie bag here in the prize closet. I definitely have some park maps from parks that have closed, Geauga Lake and things like that. So I'll put together some sort of like defunct, closed, great missed attractions prize pack, Mike, and send that out.
Excellent.
So, yeah,
that's going to be good.
So yeah, we'll send a prize to the best answer to the interactive question. What is the most missed defunct attraction that's happening in 2 weeks?
Yes, so send your responses right to us at feedback@coasterradio.com. You can also send us a voice recording there, or use the coasterradio.com iPhone app to send us a recording. But we love hearing the recordings; those are always great. But also, just make sure you keep those to around 30 seconds or so. Don't write a whole treatise about the attraction you miss, or like go on for 10 minutes. We just want 30 seconds. We want to keep the conversation moving.
Cool.
So we appreciate it. Let's take a break. When we come back, EB, I want to hear about your trip out west.
Okay.
And all the great things you saw. So we'll do that right after this.
This is Coaster Radio.
Okay, you still ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to the original theme park podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. I am here with EB, who is back from his epic trip out west. Did you drive from Indiana all the way out, or did you fly out? I want to hear how you did this, because that was a long trip, man.
Yeah, longtime listeners of the show know that I like to take big, long family road trips. So this was another cross-country road trip that we did. I think we totaled it up. It's well over 4,000 miles, some 60-plus hours of driving over the course of 12 days. So this was another big, fun trip that we took. The final destination was Lava Beds National Monument in California, where, if you don't know about Lava Beds National Monument in California, this is probably one of the most favorite places that we've ever been on any of our road trips. Mike, 30,000 years ago, a shield volcano erupted in northeastern California. The lava bubbled up from the earth, and it came through the earth and then erupted out into the surface and poured out into the valley. And it came up, a shield-style volcano, in hundreds of tubes of lava that pushed out over many, 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 many acres of land, square miles of land.
Wow.
As the lava then receded, because it is liquid, right? As it pulled back and receded back into the earth, the tubes that were formed then cooled, and the hardened lava left behind these caves, these tunnels. And there's hundreds of them within the Lava Beds National Monument that are protected. And unlike going to, say, Luray Caverns or Glenwood Caverns or any of these caverns that are commercial that you pay $1 for, and you hold the handrail and they've got lights and a path, these are just there, and you can just go in them.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, and it's awesome. And you go inside and you see all of the different formations of the different types of lava, the different ways the lava has cooled. Some of them are it's smooth and drippy on the walls. Some of them are like blobs that have hardened into solid stone on the floor.
Wow.
Some of them are craggly and crunchy. But it's in the middle of nowhere. And so we've gone to this park 3 times now. There's never anybody there. We go to the campground, and there's 4 other families that might be camping. You go to the visitor center, and you might encounter, a dozen or 20 people your entire time that you're at this park. But then you can go off and you can explore these caves, and you can get a map, and you get a helmet, and you get flashlights and knee pads and the whole thing. And you go exploring into these caves and caverns. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And there's 20 or 30 of them that are actually marked on the park's map. But again, there are hundreds on the square miles of how large this property is. So you can actually go out and find other ones that you can just explore on your own. Anyway,
that's cool.
That was our final
that you can go any place you have to wear a hard hat and have flashlights. Yeah. That's adventure, man. I like that.
And I will say, anybody who's into spelunking and caving and things like that, we did defeat the catacombs, which is the longest marked cave at Lava Beds National Monument. It's over 6,000 feet, Mike. So well over a mile of cave experience. In some places, the clearance, the ceiling height, it gets down to about 14 inches. So you are doing true belly crawl. Like the hard hat wouldn't fit through like this. You have to turn your head sideways and push your way through it.
That's cool, man.
And you get to the back, and you get to proudly sign the guest book that you made it to the back.
Yeah.
The back
you
of
made
the
it. You made it all the way.
Yes. Anyway,
that's cool.
That
was
cool.
fun, man.
Yeah,
that's
so that was a fun destination. But here's what we did on the way out and the way back. On the way out, we stopped in Seward, Nebraska.
Yes.
And something that I like to do is I find I know about various time capsules that are buried across the United States. And whenever I find out about a new cool time capsule, I actually go into my calendar that I keep, my online calendar, and I'll put an appointment in the calendar. And then 1 year before that date, I'll put another appointment in my calendar. So in my calendar, like in 2037, they're going to open a time capsule in New Mexico, but I know about it and I've got it in my calendar. This is one that I found probably 20 years ago and put into my calendar. And then it finally came up, the world's largest time capsule, so they claim, in Seward, Nebraska.
Excellent.
And they just opened it on the 4th of July.
I saw news coverage of it.
Yes.
And I remember you talking about it on an episode months ago, like that you
Probably.
might be going to it.
Yes, and this was what I was going to build my trip around. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. And it was a really interesting news thing. I'll let you talk about what was there, but like it was easily the most I've seen in a time capsule ever. Yeah.
Yes. So they claim it to be the world's largest. It's buried 50 years ago by a deranged millionaire. He owns a furniture store or something like that. And so he dug a giant pit out and filled it with concrete and made a gigantic time capsule, invited the townspeople to come and leave messages, write letters, leave artifacts. He let the children of the town paint murals and write messages on the walls of the inside of the time capsule. Again, because how big it is, I think it's something like 20 feet by 12 feet or something like that. Then he put in 2 motorcycles and a brand new off the lot AMC Gremlin.
Wow. Yeah.
And then
wild.
They put a pyramid on top of the thing to hold it down and to keep it sealed up. They opened it up. They pulled out all the artifacts. A lot of them really survived well. So many of these time capsules, they open them up and everything's waterlogged and destroyed. This one, that AMC Gremlin was so well preserved. They brought it up out of the time capsule. They put fluids back into it, gassed it up and put the radiator, and the whole thing. And they drove it in the 4th of July parade.
Oh my gosh. That's so cool. That's so cool.
That was a cool place to stop.
In the news story I saw this really nice thing where there was this, kind of older guy. I guess he was in his like 60s or something. And he found, or his mom had written him a letter when he was a little boy and put it in the time capsule.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave it to him. So he had a letter from his mom, from so long ago.
Yeah.
Wishing him well. It was really just a touching thing. And that's where those things are really interesting, right? Like where it actually touches generations ahead. It's just really cool.
And I think, and that's exactly what it was. I forget the inscription on the time capsule, but it was something to that effect, messages for the children of the future or something.
Yeah.
And when the town opened it up, and they, at the fairgrounds, or I forget where it was, they took all of the items that were in it and spread them all out on tables so that people of the town could come, because they didn't necessarily even know who put stuff in there. Right. And so you could just walk through and be like, hey, that's from my daddy. Right.
Right.
Yeah. That kind of thing. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. Really cool. Really cool. So that was one of the cool places I wanted to talk about. Another one, we drove through Reno. And we went to the Circus Casino.
Oh, yes, I've been there too.
That's
a good
fun.
place.
Yeah. And so we were just looking for something to do. The road trip was so long that I actually had to get an oil change in the middle of it. So then we were kind of in the middle of Reno and we're looking for something to do. And we said, oh, let's go to Circus. They've got free circus shows. So we did. We saw a couple of the circus shows. We ate. The kids are not old enough to gamble, obviously, but you can go through a casino and look at the spectacle of it, right? And enjoy that.
Yeah, sure.
Madeline thought it was all very sad. She's like, why are these people doing this?
Yes.
But the circus
wasting
shows,
their money.
The circus shows were fun. And then we also played in the arcade. They've got a really great arcade at Circus for the kids. And Mike, I think on the redemption machines, you know how none of those games are true skill, right? Maybe some of them have a little bit of skill, but a lot of them are computer controlled, and the claw game is set to have the strong grip on certain number of plays and the weak grip on other plays and that sort of thing. But I think in the casino, your odds are better than a regular arcade because they want the kids to be happy and win.
Yes.
So I think,
and stay.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's exactly what was happening because it seemed like we were winning a lot. And I was like, kids, we can't be winning any more of these giant stuffed animals. They're not going to fit in the car. We're on a road trip.
Or they're trying to get kids used to gambling. Like, hey,
look,
there you
go.
Be a winner.
That's even more conspiratorial. I was okay.
And then you come to Circus when you're 21 and you can try your hand at winning some money.
Yeesh.
But there, the odds aren't so good.
Right. But anyway, that was fun. The last thing I wanted to talk about. Tell me.
Well, I wish I'd known you were going to Reno because you could have gone to the escape room where I play the vampire. I'm the voice of the vampire who you have to defeat in the escape room.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
I know. I
tell that story again for
that,
people.
Yeah, so years ago, I was trying to make some extra money doing voiceover work on Fiverr.
Yes.
And a guy in Reno who has a pretty popular escape room, he and his wife were doing this vampire story called Blood of the Original. and you go into this vampire crypt, and you have to like defeat the vampire because he's the original vampire, and so it's my voice as the vampire taunting you throughout the escape room. And so like I remember recording all of the script and stuff, but it's still there.
It's still there. I just
yeah.
looked it up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Blood of the Original in Reno. Yeah,
well,
it's still there.
If I had remembered, I absolutely would have.
It would have been so not scary to you though, because like you would have been like, "Oh, that's my
It's me, blah.
Me. Yeah. hello.
I love Apollo's chariot and your neck.
Blah, blue, blah. Yeah, No, I think I did it very menacing, but yeah. But how funny would it have been to do like a...
All right, so now I have a reason to go back.
Yeah, see?
I have a reason to go back.
Anybody out there in Reno, go to Blood of the Original.
Blood of the Original escape room in Reno, Nevada. That's an assignment. I want somebody to go and record a live trip report.
Oh, that would be great. There's a list. There's got to be a listener
an episode
near
of Coaster
Reno.
Radio. Just hit record for the whole hour.
Yes, right.
That's an episode.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah.
I would have done that.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Episode of Coaster Radio. I could have done a whole episode of me and the kids trying to defeat your escape room.
That's right.
All right. Last thing I wanted to talk about is Casa Bonita in Denver, Colorado. This was a pilgrimage that I've been waiting for decades. Was it 2003, 2004 that Casa Bonita appeared in South Park? And it was like, oh my gosh, that's a real place. It is a real place. Yep. And I went. Casa Bonita was an institution. I guess there were other locations in Little Rock and Tulsa. Those closed, but the one in Denver survived all the way up until COVID. It fell into disrepair and then closed down. But Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators behind South Park, bought it because they had childhood memories of it and they wanted to see it continue. They bought it. They renovated it, made it amazing. Everybody was anticipating this coming back, and so they had to do this complicated reservation system. I got a reservation for Casa Bonita. That was the other piece of this road trip. That was like a cornerstone of the trip, was going to Casa Bonita. And if you know anything about Casa Bonita, Mike, I will say I had very, very high expectations, and they were met. So,
oh yes, that's
very
good to hear. That's
very
good to hear. Yeah, explain it to me because I sort of know what it is, but I don't. If I walked in, I would not know what I was about to experience.
Yeah. So imagine it is. So have you ever gone to like the T-Rex restaurant or a Rainforest Cafe?
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you go and there's like animatronics, and every once in a while there's like a volcano that erupts or whatever. And you sit down and you eat your food next to an elephant. Right.
Right.
And then maybe when you're done eating your food, you get up and you do a lap to look at all of the other things. Right.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
It's that cranked up to like 100.
Oh,
so you go and you sit down, and you order your food and you eat your food, and the food is mediocre, and it's $45 a plate.
Whoa.
Right.
Yeah. But you're not paying for the food.
You're not paying for the food. So they ask you to go ahead and eat first. And then after you're finished eating, you can get up and do the experience portion of your visit. Our lunch reservation was at 12:30. We stayed all the way until closing at 4:30 that day.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's how long it takes you to really, truly enjoy everything that's there. Mike, there is a classic theater with a magic show that's legit and funny. There is a mariachi band that is playing throughout the entire time that you're there. There are cliff divers that are jumping off of a 30-foot tall waterfall into a pool below every 20 minutes. There is a puppet show that happens every 30 minutes that has some great Mexican food-based jokes, which is pretty great. There's a fortune teller. There's an up close magician. There is a walk around man, bear, pig character from South Park. You can go and you can explore all of these different areas of the building. So you can go and you can be in the little Spanish town, and then you can go into the gold mine, and there's all kinds of gags in the gold mine and things you can do. You can push the plunger down and try to make the rocks explode. You can peek into a cranny and there's, a miner's leg sticking out and he's like, help me, I'm stuck in here. There's a whole cave section where you can go and you can see this bat. There's a part where you can go and you can visit the treasure hunter, and there's a clam that opens its mouth and gives you a pearl that has a prize in it. There's an explorer, and you can go and find her in the Aztec tunnels, and she'll show you about her exploring. There's a guy playing classic Spanish guitar up on a balcony just randomly. There's Black Bart's Cave, where you can go through like a haunted walkthrough mini cave attraction. It's gigantic, and it's like a maze, and it's packed full of people. It's just so much fun. And then there's walk around characters to boot, so that they have a whole cast of characters that you can interact with that are really funny. But anyway, Casa Bonita, exactly what I wanted it to be. I'm so happy that I finally made it to Casa Bonita after all these years. That was another one for me. So wonderful.
So few things in life meet and exceed expectations, you know, and this sounds like it was one of them.
Yes,
I like it.
It really was. It really was. I knew what to expect, I think, and it did live up to what I wanted it to be. And again, this is ever since finding out about Casa Bonita, like so many people did, back on South Park way in the early 2000s when that episode aired.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Eric Cartman.
So
There's lots of little South Park references all over the place too, which is fun.
Yeah.
But the big thing that happened on the trip. Go ahead. You were going to give me the transition there, Mike. Give me it.
Oh yeah. I was going to say like but that was not the only things you did on your trip. And next week we've got more coming up, right?
That's right. So the big themed attraction that I went to was, of course, Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. This is a park that I went to. What was it now? 10 years ago. At this point, it was a while ago, almost 9 years ago, I guess, with my son Mark, when the Haunted Mine Drop attraction opened. If you go back and you listen to those episodes, I think it's season 11, there's 3 or 4 episodes where you can kind of follow along the season long story arc of Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park opening Haunted Mine Drop, where we talk about the ride. We talk to, Nancy Hurd, the GM of Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park, about the attraction. Then we talk to Mark McDonough of Creative Visions about the theming of the attraction. I think for both of them, we were kind of leaning heavily into, if you need a couple of guys to be voices on this attraction, let us know.
Yep.
Then we were the voices in the attraction in the queue line for the Haunted Mine Drop. And then you get to hear my trip report from Mark and I being flown out to be the VIP guests at Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. And
so great.
Meeting Stan Checketts, the legendary attraction designer and inventor of worked and founded S&S, Stan Checketts, and the whole thing. Well, a few years after that, we talked to them again about Defiance, the new Gerstlauer roller coaster that opened 4 or 5 years ago at Glenwood Caverns. Really wanting to get back to Glenwood Caverns to ride that ride. Finally got to do it. And that's going to be next week's episode. And along with, like you teased, Mike, some behind the scenes of the Crystal Tower, the retheming of the Haunted Mine Drop.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. And like we said, we've got all our shows on YouTube now, and there's a good amount of video from your trip there as part of that show. Especially my favorite part, you guys will hear it and see it next week, as you in the gondola going up to the top of the mountain to get to Glenwood Caverns, because that's what you have to do to get to the park. So I'm excited for that, man. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I had asked my daughter Madeline to capture some video, but I think she got bored of being the videographer. Well, a couple of coaster nerds were talking about, brake systems on drop rides and things like that. So there is some video, but other times you'll just have to use your imagination. I got some pictures and stuff on the Discord. I'm gonna share all those pictures and stuff on the Discord too.
Yeah, and that's a good transition, EB, because the Discord is a fantastic place for Coaster Radio fans to gather. Especially because, we'll do an episode like that, but then there's bonus content that gets put there for people to see and discuss and stuff. So the way that you can be a part of that Discord is by going to patreon.com/Coaster Radio. And what is that? It's at the lowest level, right? The lowest contribution level, which is like $1 a month, I think.
Yeah.
For access to that Discord. It's really great.
Yeah. I mean, and if you like the show, if you like the podcast, you should be supporting the podcast. You should throw $1 at us every month. That's like Mike, that's less than what you would tip for a beer. I mean, come on. And you're getting 4 episodes of Coaster Radio. So go on there. It takes a little bit of time to type in some stuff, but then you're all set. And you get access to the Discord. Plus there's more bonus content. There's extra perks and things like that at the other pledge levels too. So $5, $10, the Snail Mail Club, the Birthday Club. Mike, at the $20 pledge level, we say your name right here on the podcast.
That's right. We want to thank Alex Payne, Brian Wackler, Chris Rankin, Cincinnati Nick, the sweatshirt guy, our friends at Club Z, the two bearded coaster Chris's, CM Venom, Colton Toms, Dino, Grace, John Brody, John Brown, and Josh Combs.
Also, Justin Padilla, Karen and Lee Howren, Kevin Wilson, Kyle Kiefer, our friends at Made to Thrill, Matt Walker, Michael Foucault, Nick from Paris, Paladilis Reyes, Rich Barber, Rick Burnley, Shane Mankiewicz, Tom from Louisville, and Zachary Carpenter.
We also want to thank Kyle Lindner from Lindner Design Company. They specialize in branding, illustration, and small batch custom apparel. They did the new 20th anniversary CoasterRadio.com logo that you can see on our website and many other places, even at EB's T-shirt shop, which is a place you can get to right from CoasterRadio.com. But you can find Kyle's company at Lindner_design on Instagram.
That's right. Yeah, you might go to the website, everybody, and you can see all the ways to support the show. I was booking my hotels by clicking that hotels.com referral link during my road trip. Yeah, and then scroll down, you can find the T-shirt shop. There's more than T-shirts in there, but there's also the link to Patreon. There's links to leave a review of the podcast. So yeah, coasterradio.com is the website. The name of the show is the name of the site. Well, we dropped the .com from the name of the show, but you get the idea. It's okay.
There you go. There you go. So thanks for spending some time with us this week, everybody. We appreciate it. As summer 2025 rolls on, we'll be back next week with EB live from Glenwood Caverns.
Great.
All right. Good job. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming to the live look-in. We appreciate it. Remember, no live look-in next week, but we will be there the week after, and we'd love to hear from you with that interactive topic of telling us about your favorite defunct attraction.
Yeah, please do that. Yeah, and somebody go to Reno and do the escape room.
That would be so great. If somebody's there, it'd be so, because I've never heard any of it except like a little bit that they put in their preview video. So
yeah, and I'm going to go on the Discord, Mike, and I think that's where I'll tell some of the other stories about Glenwood Caverns. So all you Discord people, that's why you're in it. But I'll be putting that stuff in there. See you in the Discord.
See you in 2 weeks. Okay, bye.